From active addiction to recovery, it was jails, institutions, near death, all of the above. I can remember wanting to be in recovery. I remember I didn't want to use anymore, and I want to be in recovery, but I would never ask questions. I always know it all, I'm a know-it-all. One day I just stopped using. I met my son's father, and we just stopped one day, and we started making a life together, and I had my son. I got pregnant and had my son, and I remember thinking, wow, I don't ever have to use again. This is the life. I'm going to do this time. I'm going to stay clean. I'm not going to use, because did go to drug and alcohol classes, and, I choose to go to a 12-step fellowship. So I would go to meetings, and I'd be like, I'm going to do this, and it wouldn't last long. As soon as the urge came, I would use. And so that's kind of how it was. I don't know, my son was almost 4 years old, and I started drinking again, and then my drug of choice showed up. And I started using again. And that it only lasted a short period of time, 6 months. And it was rough, My son's father had never seen that side of me. It had been a really long time, because I stayed abstinent, but not, I wasn't working on anything. And so it was rough on everybody. I'm not a nice person when I'm using. So bottom line, what happened was my son's father said, you either need to get clean, you need to do something, or you need to leave, and you're not taking our son with you. So that was kind of my motivation. Went to meetings every night. I did everything that was suggested. I got into some special events, and I was doing things in recovery, and then my dad got sick. So I had kind of to myself made a commitment to myself that I was never going to use again. And he passed when I had 5 months clean. But during that time, I also, when my father was sick, I'll back up just for a second, I was working full-time. I was going to meetings. I was showing up for other people and my son, so I did have a great support system with my son's father and his family. They supported me because I was going to work, and sometimes I was leaving straight from work to go to Baltimore to see my dad in the hospital, so they were my biggest supporters. Whether they thought they were supporting me or not, that's how I felt, because I had experienced the death of my father so early in recovery, because a lot of people, our parents are our saviors, our enablers, our, everything. And to lose someone so early in recovery and not use, that was big, because I remember all through my years, if anything ever happens to my dad, might as well lock me up and throw away the key, because I won't make it out clean, and I might not make it out alive. And that didn't happen. So it's I've been able to help other people through the death of a family member. Laid off. I've been laid off multiple situations early on that I handled and I didn't use over. I utilized my support group, and so early on in my recovery, I was able to give back. I've had a lot of active addiction in my immediate family, and right now everybody's doing well, and I have a good job. I have the job I've always wanted. Challenging can be challenging, but I'm always up for a challenge, so I'm peaceful. Life is peaceful right now. My name is Melanie, and I'm thankful every day for my recovery, and I will not be stopped by the stigma of addiction.